रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि हमारे जो मेंबर ऑफ लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली विधायक सम्मानीय श्री पाओलियन लाल जी वो कार्यक्रम में अपनी बात रखें। स्वागत है सर, प्लीज।
Thank you, Sivanandi. Thank you all for organizing this meeting. And I've heard Praveen Patelji elaborating the situation in Manipur. I would say most accurately. Thank him for his interest in resolving the problem in Manipur. Our discussion is entitled The Causes and the Remedies. Now, as I have been saying and maintaining, the root cause of the problem in Manipur, the violence, is an outcome of long-standing and systematic denial of rights that have been guaranteed under the Constitution to the tribal communities. The flare-up, of course, is limited between the Kukis and the majority Métis, but the underlying causes are much more, widespread, in the sense the entire tribal community in Manipur is aggrieved because the state has not respected the constitutional provisions for the rights of the tribals, whether it be in governance and whether it be in reservations in jobs, whether it be in the implementation of the Delimitation Commission's report of 2008, which recommended an increased percentage of representation of the tribals in the Legislative Assembly based on the increased percentage of the population. These are fundamental denials, and once the framework of governance, that is the Constitution, is neglected and bypassed or not allowed to operate, troubles are bound to come. And unless we start addressing that fundamental issue of respecting and upholding the Constitution of India and its provisions for various segments of its citizenry, the problems will continue. And, there's a lot of talk about the land imbalance. On the face of it, yes, if you just look at the statistics, there seems to be some imbalance. I concede that because 54% of the valley population, the Métis, are living in what is about 10% of the territorial area of the state. That is But if you really look into it, that 10% has a carrying capacity which is almost 80 times the carrying capacity of the hill areas. And the population growth has been challenged in a way to create a false narrative about illegal immigration from Myanmar and elsewhere. But the statistics don't prove anything of that sort. The statistics are also the problem is when people in authority lose their integrity, and when people in authority don't respect the constitution and started challenging the constitution, then such problems, this kind of problems, are bound to occur. For instance, the Constitution of India provides that tribal land, uh, tribal land in tribal territories cannot be purchased by non-tribals. Now, that is a constitutional provision, but that has also been bypassed. It is not that it is observed. Now, over and above that, the present government and the entire politics of the dominant community in Manipur is to try and get access to the tribal territories. The demand for scheduled tribe status is also aimed at that. The false narrative of maligning the entire community as forest encroachers, poppy planters, drug traffickers, these are also aimed at, seizing their land under the pretext of the Indian Forest Act or the Wildlife Sanctuaries Act, etc. Now, the provisions of the Indian Constitution protecting the land of the tribals is based on a deep philosophical understanding of the inequalities that existed in India. The tribal communities have traditionally been deprived of access to economic opportunities. Their access to education is also very limited at the time of independence. So the framers of the Indian Constitution, particularly Dada Ambedkar, understood the challenges before the Indian state and its marginalized tribal communities, and it is with that deep understanding that a system of what we call positive discrimination was inserted in the provisions of the Constitution for social justice. Now, just because the majority community who are politically dominant want to satisfy their greed for the tribal land in a particular state, if we try to neglect the Samvidhan or the constitution that governs us, that is the problem. And that is the root cause of the troubles in Manipur also. And as far as the remedies are concerned, I have no doubt in my mind that unlike other rights situations in the country, this is a total separation, a demographic separation, geographical separation, and also, most importantly, an emotional separation that has happened. And therefore now, both segments of the citizenry, that is the Meitei community as well as the Kuki Joe community, must be allowed to be happily Indian by providing them separate administration, separate from each other, so that the misunderstandings, the misgivings can later on turn to good neighborly vibes. They can coexist as neighbors, but to try and integrate them again would be to try and force two people together into a bad marriage. That is my observation. Thank you. Sivananji, over to
जी
you.
हाँ, धन्यवाद पॉलियन लाल जी। और आपने मणिपुर के जो वर्तमान स्थिति है उसके बारे में आपने इन डेप्थ एनालिसिस किया और आपने उसके कारण और समाधान आपने बताए, और उम्मीद है कि आपकी बातों पर सरकार गौर करेगी और जो जो वर्तमान स्थिति निर्मित है उसको गंभीरता से लेगी। और आप तो खैर सत्ताधारी, मतलब मुझे पता नहीं, लेकिन केंद्र में तो बीजेपी की सत्ता है, और मणिपुर में क्या स्थिति है, मतलब आपकी पार्टी की सरकार है, आप बीजेपी के वर्तमान एमएलए हैं, तो केंद्र में तो उन्हीं की सरकार है, तो उम्मीद है कि उसको गंभीरता से उनको लेना चाहिए कम से कम।
देखिए सर,
जी आप कुछ बोलना चाह रहे थे?
हाँ, मतलब हाँ, ये सही है कि मणिपुर की सरकार बीजेपी का ही है, और मैं भी एक बीजेपी लेजिस्लेटर हूँ। लेकिन ये जो हिंसा हो रहा है, ये पार्टी पॉलिटिक्स इसके बीच में ले आना ठीक नहीं रहेगा, क्योंकि ये हिंसा जो है एथनिक है, पॉलिटिकल नहीं है, एथनिक वायलेंस है और एथनिक क्लेंसिंग हो रहा है। तो इसमें पार्टी लाइंस में बोलना ठीक नहीं रहेगा।
नहीं, हमारा मतलब सर ये नहीं था कि मतलब पार्टी इसके लिए मतलब पार्टी इसमें इन्वॉल्व नहीं कर रहे हैं, लेकिन हमारा ये कहना है कि आपने जो बातें सुझाव आपने रखे हैं वो आप तो वो सुझाव अपनी पार्टी को भी पहुंचाते होंगे, क्योंकि केंद्र में भी वही है। तो एथनिक प्रॉब्लम पहले तो मणिपुर में इतनी नहीं थी, सडनली ये होने का मतलब कि इन सुझावों पर क्या उन्होंने अमल नहीं किया है, क्या हमारा ये कहना है?
हाँ बिल्कुल, मैंने राज्य का बीजेपी का प्रेसिडेंट को भी लिखा था। ये था 3 मई की कुछ हफ्ते पहले मैंने लिखित में दिया कि ये जो हमारा सीएम है, ये एक हेड ऑफ गवर्नमेंट होने के नाते जो एक कम्युनिटी के ऊपर जो नेगेटिव नैरेटिव्स दे रहा है और नेगेटिव एक्यूजेशंस कर रहा है और ब्रांडिंग कर रहा है। हो सकता है एक कम्युनिटी का मेंबर ड्रग ट्रैफिकर हो सकता है, लेकिन उस वजह से आप एंटायर कम्युनिटी ऑफ ड्रग ट्रैफिकर्स नहीं कह सकते। ये सब हमारा मुख्यमंत्री ने किया है, और दिस आर कंसर्न्स दैट द पार्टी नीड्स टू डिस्कस इन द पार्टी फोरा करके मैंने स्टेट प्रेसिडेंट को भी लिखा था। लेकिन कुछ पता नहीं कुछ एक्शन लेने की मोड में है कि नहीं, लेकिन बिफोर anything could be done by the state president also, the violence started off, and unfortunately the violence was executed by two groups of radical militias that have been nurtured and
ओके, मुझे लगता है कुछ टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम हुई और एमएलए साहब का कट गया यहाँ पर कनेक्शन। और आगे बढ़ते हैं, हमारे बीच में सुश्री मारिया मांगटे जी हैं, जो अखिल भारतीय आदिवासी विकास परिषद की जनरल सेक्रेटरी हैं, और वो प्रेसिडेंट हैं ट्राइबल वेलफेयर सोसाइटी की। और जैसा कि हमने पहले उनको इंट्रोड्यूस किया, 7 स्टेट्स नॉर्थ ईस्ट के हैं, तो हम सभी उनका स्वागत करें और उन्हें हम आगे सुने। मारिया जी, स्वागत है आपका, अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर लीजिए।
Hello, morning, and thank you very much.
धन्यवाद।
It really grieves me to tell the situation of Manipur because it has been beyond, I don't know what to say. There is no words left because it is really in a holocaust. After so many people have died, after so many people have been displaced, churches have been burned down, and many people homeless, and where women are being raped and killed, students left with no educational ideas to continue their studies. And still the state continued. The state continued with violence, and the state-sponsored program continued to depend the division between the majority Meiteis and the minority Kuki-Jaumi. But the government have failed to do anything for the people who have lost everything. And the tribal people are left to fend for themselves. So I would like to say that the Kukis are Christians, God-fearing, and want to live in peace and with respect and dignity.
Maria, sorry, intervening. Can you speak in Hindi?
Oh no, I think English is better for
Most
me.
of the people here not comfortable with English.
Okay, so I'll try my best, but
Yeah, please.
but it will be tutta-futta Hindi, no?
Yeah. Try,
Yeah.
mix Hindi, English together, and also put your video on.
मैं क्या बताऊं?
Try to interrupt. I think, ma'am, what will be the comfortable language you can use so that I can really understand your thoughts. I think you will be better express your thoughts in English.
I would prefer English. Yeah, in English.
Sure. I think.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं प्रवीण सर, उसको थोड़ा सा आप हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट कर दिया जाएगा। यदि मैडम को उतना कंफर्ट नहीं है हिंदी के साथ में, तो क्योंकि जो एक्सप्रेशन है जो आप कहना चाह रही हैं, यदि वो बेहतर ढंग से नहीं आ पाया तो कोई मतलब नहीं रहेगा, तो आप इंग्लिश में ही कंटिन्यू करें जो चीज आप कहना चाह रही हैं, प्लीज।
Okay, Maria, you got the license.
Yeah, thank you so much. So now the state-sponsored program continues to deepen the division between the majority Meiteis and the minority tribal Kuki-Jaumis. But the government has failed to do till today, even after the Home Minister have visited the state. And even the Prime Minister of India just kept mum. Instead of looking into these problems, he's traveling around the world like like holidaying for himself. And now the President of India as the head also just kept silent, just being a good spectator. I just don't understand what is happening. And as for the Kuki people, Kukis are Christians and they are God-fearing people, and they would like to live in peace and with respect and dignity. And they can, and in this present situation, the Kuki-Jaumi can never live with this Meitei plain people because of the situation they have created, which is really very bad. And this is beyond expectation, and the whole world knows it. And it is not a lie, but still they can manipulate, lying and fabricating all the stories, and to the extent of defying their own modesty. So now the best solution for the people right now in Manipur, for the Kuki-Jaumi, would be a separate administration, because they are not asking for a separate state like Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, or Uttarakhand, or Punjab. So I think it is not a difficult thing. But if today the government is silent, I have a doubt if it is something to do with the central government who have instigated with their ideology of Hindutva. So I really don't understand. So today in this situation, people are not speaking out, but I have a doubt because it is a BJP government and backed by the RSS, and also so many factors which I cannot explain. But in this situation, I really cannot understand what our PM is doing and what the Home Minister is doing after visiting Manipur. And he have seen with his naked eyes the dying people and the houses which have been turned to ashes, and how many lives have gone, and how many homes are burned down, and how many people are left rendered homeless. He have seen it with his own naked eyes, and still he have not done anything. So I really don't understand. But I'm thankful to Praveen and your organization. I hope something can be done through you with the fast justice, as you are fighting for fast justice for the country. And so today what I would like to say is that the best thing is to bring a solution for the state in Manipur. Is not much. Just one sentence is sufficient to give them a separate administration, which will be very good for them to live side by side, peacefully and cordially. So that would be the best solution. No need to look for peace committee or that committee, because this will only create more problem and prolong the problem. So this is all what I have to say, because I don't have to narrate anything more, because it is already known. The world knows it. Everybody knows it. So this is what I have to say in brief. Thank you so much.
जी मारिया जी, धन्यवाद। आपने मणिपुर की समस्या के विषय में अपना पक्ष रखा, और जो माइनॉरिटी ग्रुप हैं, कुकीज समूह जो हैं, उनके विषय में आपने बताया कि किस तरह से वो भी प्रताड़ना का एक तरह से शिकार हो रहे हैं। हालांकि सभी लोग हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि वायलेंस जब होता है पूरी स्टेट में तो एक तरह से सभी को प्रभावित करता है, पूरा देश ही प्रभावित हो रहा है। लेकिन स्वाभाविक तौर पर जो अल्पसंख्यक ग्रुप होता है उस पर प्रभाव थोड़ा सा ज्यादा होता है, ज्यादा इस तरह से बैलेंस हो जाए। तो आपने बताया कि प्रधानमंत्री जी और हमारे राष्ट्रपति महोदय सभी उसमें इंटरेस्ट लें, और क्या कर रहे हैं वो अपना काम मतलब इसमें करें, इसको रिजॉल्व करें मामले को। और आपने ये भी जिक्र किया कि किस तरह से होम मिनिस्टर ने भी वहां पर विजिट किया था, लेकिन अभी तक कोई समाधान उसका सार्थक नहीं निकल पाया है, जिससे ये जो हिंसा है उस पर रोक लग पाए। तो ये सब कंसर्न आपने अपनी रखी है, और आपने कहा कि पूरे समुदाय को, सभी लोगों को एक दूसरे के साथ में मिल करके शांतिपूर्वक सद्भावपूर्वक रहना चाहिए, और ऐसा वातावरण सरकार और जिम्मेदारों के द्वारा बनाया जाए। उसको एक तरह से उसपे आग में घी का काम ना किया जाए इस तरह से, बल्कि उसको रिजॉल्व किया जाए। इस तरह से आपने अपनी बात रखी है, और कार्यक्रम में अपन आगे बढ़ें। और हमारे अगले जो स्पीकर्स हैं डॉक्टर रॉबिन रामी जी, हम उनको यहाँ पर इनवाइट करते हैं। वो हमारे कार्यक्रम में अपनी बात रखेंगे। जैसा कि हमने बताया कि आप PhD ह्यूमैनिटी से हैं, जर्मनी से। आप मदर टेरेसा ह्यूमैनिटी अवार्ड आप प्राप्त कर चुके हैं, और आपने यूनाइटेड नेशन इंटरनेशनल पीस काउंसिल के लिए भी आप काम कर चुके हैं। कई सारे पहले भी कार्यक्रम में आए हैं प्रवीण जी के साथ में। तो रामी जी, आपका स्वागत है। अपने आप को अनम्यूट करें और प्लीज अपनी बात रखें। आपको अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा प्लीज।
शिवानंद भाई, तब तक कांग्रेस साहब से पास जाइए, मैं उनको फोन करता हूँ।
ठीक है, देख लीजिए। और अपन आगे अगले स्पीकर की तरफ चलते हैं। तो हमारे बीच में अपोस्टल NJ कोंघे जी हैं, जो फाउंडर डायरेक्टर हैं जेरूसलम ग्लोबल मिनिस्ट्री के, जो नागालैंड यूनिट में आप काम कर रहे हैं। और जिस तरह से
Robin is back, he can first go. Yes, please unmute. Yeah, Pastor Robin, unmute your.
राविन जी वापस आ चुके हैं, तो वो अपनी बात रखें। इसके बाद हम अपोस्टल जी के पास में आते हैं।
प्रणाम।
आप लोग बाकी हमारे जो साथी हैं अपने आप को म्यूट करके रखें, क्योंकि आप लोगों की नॉइज डिस्टर्ब करती है। हमने आप लोगों को परमिशन दे रखी है, क्योंकि आप लोग क्वेश्चन भी बीच में पूछ सकते हैं, लेकिन मतलब जब एक पार्टिसिपेंट्स का कार्यक्रम समाप्त हो जाए तब आप लोग करें ऐसा। कृपया अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर लें आप लोग। इंजीनियर साहब, मनकांत जी, ओके। म्यूट कर लें, सॉरी। तो राउमी जी प्लीज।
Okay, pranam to everyone, and Srivananji, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And I would like to just thank you to Ravinji, National Federation of Society for Fast Justice. And I'm so glad to have Mariaji, President of Northeast India Adivasi Vikas Parishad. And also, I'm so glad to have Sri Pautindal Hokip, our BJP MLA, Manipur State Assembly. And also, you know, here we have our Apostle Enzi Gonhe. And so today, I would like to just, you know, say thank you for these two groups, National Federation of Societies for Fast Justice and the RTI, Revolutionary Group, India. So here we see, now we have seen the briefing of what, you know, extreme disorder counts and the, you know, violence flare up on 3rd May in Manipur. And this is what today people of Manipur are facing the, you know, having the troublous time. And I have visited in Kuki areas as well as in Meiteis in the relief camp, and then see the pains that they're going through. You know, these innocent peoples. We cannot blame to either one, like, you know, the innocent people, the public. The first, like, you know, whether it be Meiteis or cookies, but we have to look, when we look at the background of Manipur, when we look at the background of Manipur, and then, you know, we have seen, we have heard in the past
राउमी जी प्लीज अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर लें, हमने परमिशन वापस ले लिया लोगों से क्योंकि नॉइज क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, तो अभी आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर लें। और हाँ ठीक है।
हेलो,
हाँ जी, आपकी आवाज आ रही है, मैंने सबको म्यूट कर दिया है। हाँ, अब आ रही है जी।
Yeah, I'm so thankful to all of you for this time. And the issue that we're facing at present in Manipur, the extreme disorders, chaos, and you know, violence flare up on 3rd May. This is something very, very sad to hear. You know, you said to see practically, and this has never been done in the past history of Manipur. You know, and you know, many people from, even from Manipur Meitei community, the Christian community itself, and the Kuki, Joe, Chinjo, Kuki, all these groups, these are the two major groups there where they flare up, and then, you know, as our MLA has already said, this is something very, very difficult to explain in details. What is the root cause and why it happened? What are the remedies, the cause? You know, something, when we look into it, you know, in Manipur, majority, I mean, one of the biggest insurgent group we can just, you know, I mean, the largest numbers of insurgent group are in Manipur, you know, whether it be Meiteis, whether it be Kukis, or whether it be Nagas. So when we look into it, there are, there is always a particular reason for setting up this revolutionary, because it doesn't, when the government does not meet their needs, automatically automatically they will start up with some kind of demands. And so if the demand is not being met, then ultimately they have to set up, they have to form a group of people. It is not against, against what we call, they're not trying to hurt someone, but, in order to meet their needs, in order to meet their demands, this is how it has been set up. And so, looking to that, now the situation in Manipur has been, it's been a very, very sad story. And, in the past, Meiteis and Pangals, this Pangal, they fought, and Nagas and Kukis fought because of misunderstanding. And now this is one of the, as Maria says, Holocaust, something horrible situation between the Meiteis and the Kukis, Chin Mizo. So this is one of the major issues that in the purpose, the intent of having these issues, if I explain into it, I cannot explain in one point, because there are various reasons where one person have one point and another person has another point, and then when you put up together, it just flare up. It just flare up altogether. But taking this into consideration, in various corner, to bring up these issues, to flare up these issues, they have put up different issues in order to convince, in order that the public will not blame into it. So there are some issues where but after all, people should not have a misunderstanding about this about Manipur situation. We have actually, before the statehood of Manipur, everybody knows, during the union territory, during that time on, Manipur has been given two separate bodies. We call that hill and the valley. And this hill and the valley, we should be having, for the hill and the valleys together, chief secretary with one governor and then chief minister. We're not trying to say here about separate state, but in Manipur is Manipur. Within the jurisdiction, within this Manipur jurisdiction, what people has their mind is, the hill and the valley. This concept has major issues that has been facing in the past. So this has been continued, and recently, from the Hill Area Committee, they put up a proposal called ADC bills, 2021 bills, and then vehemently the majority political group, as I said, the state assembly were not allowed to pass these bills, and because of that, even a lot of issues have been taken place. Even in the past, in 2015, another problems flare up in Chorachandpur, where 9 of the innocent were killed, and this is because of this inner line permits, and then MLR 7 amendment bills and other things. Three issues, three bills because of that. So something like that during Congress rules, Congress government. Even that time they have that problem, and now another come up, another during this time BJP under the leadership of N. Biren Singh, our chief minister. So these issues come up, and then this is not a new issues that everyone is looking for. You see the condition, why it is happening, and why people are not happy. And even though anything's come up, as Pravinji said before, central government, the state government has not been announced for helping, assistance, and all. But he has already officially announced has announced. But to my understanding, I think that helping building their burn house, and then giving compensation to the dead and all this will not bring solution to the problems, because you see the condition and condition in Manipur. What is happening? You see the lifestyle in the hills. You see the lifestyle in the valley. Everything, all the national infrastructures, world-class infrastructures are already in Imphal Valley within this. And then, as I said, even though Manipur Meiteis are these valleys are covering only 10%, but this 10% is far valuable than the hills. And I know for sure, even we allow the hill people, valley people to move up to valley hills, they will not even willing to go and settle there, because the hill, there is nothing there. Who will go there? Even the hill people, when the infrastructure, the hospital, everything is there, then everyone rushes there, and all the fund allocation has been installed. Majority of the fund allocation has been placed in valley. So including the hills, everyone rushes because they want safety, they want secure life. And you see, most of the people in the hill who live, like, forget about 40%, just like 60% of the people who are living in the far-flung jungle in a village, they are not access to these kind of facilities. And many people, how many people died? Just forget about others, but since 1972, and counting till today, how many people have already died because of lack of facilities? And you see, the condition of what, the name, the project is already in the online. When we check into it, everything is there, but there is no proper implementation. And so this one we cannot even blame to only Meiteis, and we cannot only blame to Meiteis, because even the hills leaders as well, both there are some manipulation going on, and then we cannot blame to anyone. So this is one of the problem that has been facing between the hill and the valley. So when we look into all this scenario, to both end, we cannot blame, and we cannot blame the Meiteis or the Kukis, because these people, the publics are the innocent. We have to help both ends. But look at this. Look at the leader. What kind of leaders are coming up, and how they are leading, and how they are misguiding the public. This has to look into it. That is one point. And another point is, like, if we really want to bring solution to the problem, to these mayhems in Manipur, I cannot specifically say this is going to be the truth, but to my experience and to my observation, when reading the hearts of various people and their demands, through that, if we give some, if we come to that conclusion according to their demands, some solution will be coming. Otherwise, and on other side also, we can see we cannot, whatever the people demands, whatever any groups demands, we cannot give to everyone, whether it is good or bad, according to demand, because that is also another things that we have to see the pros and cons, and we have to see. So when we compare to all this together, I think if we give the demands of the Meiteis, allow them, because even though we don't give automatically politically they are majority, 40:20 is something, it's any kind of a bill they can pass. And we see hill people has been suffering for so many years. So this has to be looked into consideration. And on the other side, when we look into it, people, even cookies are demanding about separate administrations. You know, there is a big question about what do you mean by separate administration? You know, it has to translate into where everybody can understand it. In the sense, now this has to take into consideration with what Meitei will agree and what Kukis will agree and what Nagas will agree. So these are the major three groups where we have to see their convenience also. But when we look into it all together, I think Meitei will not agree with what Kukis are demanding, and Kuki will not be happy with what Meiteis are demanding. So this is not, I mean, Nagas. So altogether, we have to see, we have to at least adjust from either corner, and then we have to see what best we can do brings for bringing peace and stability in the state of Manipur. You know, this is what to my observation now. Because the facilities, everything is in the valley, so even the Nagas and the Meiteis, everyone rush into in the valley, and now it is overcrowded, and it hurt their sentiment, because before it was this is valley, but now it is filled with hills people. And another concept, you know, we cannot evidently prove, but you know, there are some you know, kind of imaginations, or there are some that kind of fearing that is going to come up. You know, they think even the think when these Meiteis give the ST status, they will hold our land, and then they will occupy whatever the things, and then they will occupy even the job facilities, even the ST quotas which has been getting from the state. And then another fear from the hillside is, you know, this is what, and if these people like in Karnataka, because the hill people are majority, I mean the Christian, majority of hill people are Christian, and then this majority of the valleys are the Hindu. So maybe some Christian are just thinking, maybe if this kind of things come up, then you know, things can be escalated to a different situation where it will even you know, hurt the sentiment of the Christian values. That's what they think it. And then, you know, anytime state government, the majority of the assembly can, you know, pass any bills, even they may be able to cut off their, you know, facilities that has been getting by from the tribals. So that kind of bills can be passed. That's some of the, you know, suspicion. It is not happening, but it may, in the future, it may happen. Something that kind of fears are there. And then not only that, you know, hill people, once they are giving this opportunity, then you know, all the hills areas, they may not be willing to live in the hill, but they will invite the central government and the center, you know, corporates to bring all the world-class infrastructures to occupy the tribal land, so that, you know, later on our land will go away. There are some kind of, you know, fears. I cannot just this is just a fear from various people, because I cannot explain in detail all this, and then I cannot give a proof of what really they're having, because this is just to various people, various group of people, they have scared. So
Please
we have
conclude,
to
Robin.
have to be separate. Yes, we have to be separate in the hill and valley. This will bring solution, and then for this, valley will not agree with what the hills are demanding. But if we want to bring peace and stability in the state, I think this has to at least come out. This has to at least come out, and then within even within the valleys, you know, there are a lot of innocent people. The innocent people, they are struggling like the Hill people. So both and everyone is suffering, but only some bunch of people are just you know, enjoying the facility, of course, because they're running the state, and you know, the leaders keep changing, but whatever the leaders come up, so this is how it's functioning. So to my suggestion for the remedies and the solution to the problems, I think we need to give you know, free access to what Meitei are demanding, what's their demand, let them do it. And then for even for Hill people, and especially the Chin, Kuki, even this separate administration in the sense, like, you know, even it has to have a mutual understanding with Naga and the Kukis, like at least the separate administration in the sense, Kuki, Nagas, Meiteis, this allocation from the center, if it is been allocated from the center separately, and then do their let them do on their according to their wishes, and then only I think some of the solution will bring to the problem, because this will last problem to the solution. Otherwise, even though we give compensation for the timing and reconcile each other and live together, it will not bring solution, because tomorrow another you know, war will start again, another problem will create, because it doesn't meet the needs of the public. Unless we meet the needs of the public, this problem will always continue. It has been continuing, and it will continue again. So to this, I think state government cannot do much of it, because of course from the assembly they can set up something and decide it. But for the hill and the valleys, central government has already given, but the problem is with the state government, where they don't pass the bill and allow to access the you know, what has been given by the central government. So this is another problem. So in order to bring this, to have peace and stability in the region, I think we have to come up with this solution. Then only permanent solution will bring. So thank you. I don't know, I might have, you know, go into a, you know, my own imagination, and then, you know, keep telling, but you know, this is one of the things that I have been, just to my experience, I have been observing. Otherwise, another new groups of insurgents may come up. Still, it may come up. We have already enough numbers of insurgent group from these three groups. But if we don't bring this, it will not come up. It may come up again. We are afraid of what is. Just continue to focus on this, and then I would like to just appeal to National Federations of Societies for Fast Justice, and then RTI group, revolutionary group, to just take into considerations of what their publics, what the Manipur people's demands, not the leaders' wish, but the public's wish. How much the publics are suffering, how much they have been suffering, and then how long it will go. So in order to solve the problems, we have to meet the needs of the public. Then only, I think, solution will the solution to the problem will come into exist. And so that is one thing. And then another thing now, as you have seen, it is about demographic separation, geographical separation, and emotional separation. You know, as our honorable, you know, MLA has already said, this is something we have to look into it now. To live together with Meiteis and Kukis, the Chin Mizo Kukis, it is impossible. Even though the government has set up and do things, it is difficult to live together now. But the government and the central government has to consider bring something which is applicable, accessible to both the communities, so that, you know, we will live a peaceful, peace and harmony life. Otherwise, guns and fightings. And I appeal to both the groups. It would either be Meiteis or Cookies. Why? Guns will not work.
Please conclude.
Yes, so guns, instead of fighting, let us sit
Please
together.
conclude.
Yes, let us sit together and then discuss with it and bring those separate administration and other issues, how to work it, and then bring development, so that in Kampupi, in Churchandpur, in Senapati, and in other places in Health, they will have their own world-class institution, world-class hospital. Then automatically, peace will come into exist, and then not much people will rush to Imphal. Now at present, everyone are rushing to Imphal for any problems, any health issues. So this will not happen again, because once the fund allocation has been given to separately, then automatically the problem will come solved. So this is my suggestion. Thank you, Pravinji, and all our Srivanji. I hand over to you again. Thank you. So.
जी धन्यवाद डॉक्टर राउमी जी, आपने अपने परिप्रेक्ष्य में जो भी आपने समझा, वहाँ की जो रियलिटी है, जो आपने समझा, जैसे जाना, उस तरह से आपने अपना व्यू यहाँ पर प्रकट किया है, और आपने समस्या के बारे में बताया और उसके समाधान के विषय में बताया, और किस तरह से जो हिल एरिया में रहने वाले कुकी समुदाय, जहाँ पे उनकी बहुतायत है, और इसी तरह से जो घाटी वाला जो एरिया है वैली का, वहाँ पर जो मैतेई समुदाय रहते हैं, जहाँ पर उनकी बहुतायत है, उनके अपने अपने जो रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं, उनकी जो प्रायोरिटीज हैं, उनकी जो समस्याएं हैं, उसके विषय में आपने बताया, और ये कहा कि सरकार को उन चीज़ों को ध्यान में रखकर काम करने की आवश्यकता है। केंद्र ने जो उनको फैसिलिटी उपलब्ध करवाई है, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को भी चाहिए कि उसको वो विचार करे, और साथ में आपने ये भी बताया कि इम्फाल का जो एरिया है, वैली एरिया, जहाँ पर फैसिलिटी ज़्यादा हैं इस समय, तो वहाँ पर सारे लोग जाते हैं स्वाभाविक तौर पर, जैसे हॉस्पिटल या कोई भी बात है, तो वही सारी व्यवस्थाएं दूसरी स्थान पर भी की जाए जहाँ डेवलपमेंट हो। फिर आपने ये भी कहा कि जो कारपोरेट है, कारपोरेट वर्ल्ड थोड़ा सा एक्टिव है, और वो कुछ जमीन लेकर के, चाहे वो डेवलपमेंट का ही कार्य हो, करना चाहता है, तो लोगों में थोड़ा सा अविश्वास हो जाता है कि पता नहीं क्या इनकी मंशा है, हमारी जमीन हड़प लेंगे, ये सारी चीजें तो ट्राइबल एरिया में तो स्वाभाविक तौर पर होता है। तो इस चीज को भी विश्वास में लेकर काम करने की जरूरत है। आपने ये सारी बातें हमने बताई, और समस्याओं के एक रीजनेबल समाधान के विषय में मतलब आपने अपनी बात रखी है, और कार्यक्रम में हम आगे बढ़े। और हमारे बीच में अपोस्टल एनजे कोंगे जी हैं, जो फाउंडर डायरेक्टर हैं जेरूसलम ग्लोबल मिनिस्ट्री नागालैंड यूनिट के, जो हमें अपने इस कार्यक्रम में अपनी बात वो रखेंगे, वो इस पूरी समस्या को किस तरह से देखते हैं और उसका कैसा समाधान पाते हैं, वो अपनी बात बताएंगे। अपोस्टल जी, स्वागत है आपका।
Hello everyone, thanks to God for today is a beautiful day, and thanks to our hosts and Sir Pravinji, Shiraji, and then all our honorable MLA and Ma'am Maria for your insight. Actually, I was shocked and saddened by them, even though I was praying to God, because India being a biggest democracy in the world, and still we are not honoring one another. That is the biggest issue. And I think so it's not because of anything that's wrong, but it's because of our leadership, the mindset of the leadership. That is, it went wrong. Because looking back to the history of India, we Northeast India, especially Nagaland and Manipur, the Naga Hills, we have been divided, we have been ruled, and especially our Northeast India is mostly comprised of Christianity. And right now, when any Indian comes, any Hindu comes to Nagaland or any parts of hill area, we never discriminate anyone so far. We have not records that we insulted other religion. But I feel this is a religious issue because the game behind the devil, everyone hates, every religion hates the devil, and nobody is a partner with the devil. So in this world, we are created by God. God created us, whether any religion you believe. But I believe there is a creator who created me, who created the land, who created the sea, oceans, everything. So I believe even India getting independence was not because of violence, it's because of non-violence. I believe Mahatma Gandhi, the father of nation, he always said, if, even to the Nagas, he said, if any any Naga is to be, if any Naga is to take a bullet, he will be the first one to take the bullet from the Indians. See, at times, we think, India thinks that we are unsafe. In Nagaland and in the hill of Nagas, every Naga, there is a church where we pray. We, Jerusalem Global Ministry, God has given us the prayer life. We need to pray. I don't think so any religion teach us to kill, to murder, to steal, you know. I don't think so any religion does that. But the governance in the history of the world, even in the history of mankind, they were also conquering land and, you know, all this. But in this generation is a generation where the world has replaced AI, artificial intelligence, where science, technology, everything is advancing. Even spirituality is also advancing in our generation. So I believe it's not the time to start, you know, like disrespecting other religion, burning down churches. You know, it's not the church in Christian, a true Christian leader or a true Christian never tell his followers, or a pastor or apostle never tell somebody to go and murder somebody. The Christian, the Bible does say, thou should not kill, you know. So it is also something we are protecting. That's why I thank the, you know, the organizing committee, that especially our sir, they have chosen this time, National Federation and Societies of Fast Justice. You know, everybody needs a, you know, fast move as the world is moving so fast. And I believe one thing we need is a mutual respect. Both the Meiteis and the Zhao, Kuki, Ching tribe, they need mutual respect. And it depends on the leaders. During the time of even our Tangkul Congress government, he was the chief minister of Manipur. We Nagas are allowed to buy land in the valleys and all things. And then I was brought up in, born in the foothill of Imphal. Our village is comprised of the forests of Imphal. See, at times when we start thinking all this, we need to respect each other, because we are all created by God. We are not created by ourselves. We are not machines or robots. We are created by God. We have to live a life of mutual respect, protection. We need to protect one another. We need to protect the cause of our right. Everyone has a right, and also human rights. We need to respect that. I believe if the leaders, and then you cannot later on, before Sir Pravin said, how many thousands of guns were snatched from the police post and then used. See, sometimes it is the leadership governance. So I believe it is not, I'm not blaming BJP or RSS. I am blaming the mindset. The devil is using the leaders to deceive their mind. So I believe in a Bible, in what I believe is the word of God, because I was also an atheist. I don't believe God before. But when I read, where is only one way, that is God is love. Teach us God is love. We need to love one another. I think so. Love, forgiveness. When I was ministering to the cookies in the refugee camp in Kampokpi area recently, just a few days ago with Dr. Robin, I told them, you know, Jesus taught one thing: love your enemies and do good for those who persecute you. Forgive them, pray for them. So I don't believe that. Why should Christian be, you know, insulted? and then persecuted, deprived in our nation called India, where it is a democratic country. Sometimes I feel that now the world, and it's not a big issue now, the world is going to intervene. Everyone, the Europe Union is going to intervene. They're saying we need to help, because there was a proposal I read in an article recently. Just I'll read for all of us. It is in the World News. Therefore, we urged, while the Manipur tribal forums plead to protect for the Kuki tribe by the Indian Army has been rejected by the Supreme Court. Something fishy is going on. Not about, see, the Kukis, the Meiteis, they're lovable people. The Nagas are always truthful. We love each other. We live Meiteis and we live together. Even the Kuki, I have Kuki classmates. I have Meiteis friends. I have lots of friends around. If I'm right, if I'm honest, if I'm generous, I believe we live in harmony. The ideology of our country has to change. See, even the Supreme Court is rejecting the plea for protecting the Kuki people. So I believe the EU and the member states should collaborate with like-minded countries and organize and access possible further steps to continue the race of human rights, especially religious freedom. Religious freedom is very important. I believe we need to respect each other's freedom of religion. That is what the country has been created. Second point, I want to come to forgive and also maybe the central government, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has to take the decision. It is not about the parliament to take the decision. It's about the Prime Minister to take the decision. The word, or else even the ambassador of US said that they will intervene if asked help. So I believe it's high time for us, even our Nagas, we have been struggling, our peace talk, even our Naga talks, because of the integrity. We cannot break the integrity of Manipur. Oh, now Manipur is already broken. Who is breaking? Because of our attitude. As human beings, we need to respect. When I was in Delhi University, when I was in Mumbai, when I was in different parts of the country, we had good friends. We had even Hindu friends, Punjabis, Sikh, everyone, Malwaris. We are good business people. We have mutual understanding. But I believe it is high time for us to wake up India, to wake up a righteous government, to wake up justice to everyone. I believe it's not about religion. It's about love and humility. It's about freedom. It's about knowing one another, understanding one another, respecting. I believe even though there is a peace community, peace mission committee, I believe it should be of different religion, different parties, think tanks, and also to propose to the government in the center to ask to give the right decision, because right now Manipur or any parts of India is under the central government. But I believe it is the opposition, the Congress, maybe anyone, maybe they should all come and support this cause. Especially when Rahul Gandhi came also, though he was stopped. But I believe it's attitudes. So I believe we should not use force in our generation. God created this world to live in peace, joy, love, knowing each other and respecting each other. I think so. This type of clashes, and even I believe there was an article by the RSS to bring peace in Manipur. Yeah, we respect, we honor each other. As a spiritual man in our nation, I also want to honor every religion. Doesn't matter whether he's Buddhist, Catholic, or Protestant, or but then I believe that everyone is created by God, and we need to glorify His name. I support this RTI, and also National Federation Society for Fast Justice to pray and go ahead. I believe in the Word of God, which I believe the Bible says that the king's heart is even in the hand of God. So I believe it is a high time. Your courage, Pravin sir, we are supporting in prayers, And thank you so much for this wonderful time. Shalom.
जी धन्यवाद अपोस्टल साहब, आपने बिल्कुल शांति का संदेश यहाँ पर दिया है लोगों को, और उम्मीद है कि ये संदेश आपका जो है वो सरकार तक पहुंचेगा, और प्रवीण जी इसको निश्चित तौर पर पहुंचाएंगे। शांति, सौहार्द, भाईचारा, प्रेम का